Hey, big spender.
It's a new one.
That's good opening, right?
A new one. We'll keep it.
Holy smoke, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Yang has just dropped $1 million in 1 week on one ad, like tripling Tom Steyer style money. This is crazy. We just recorded an amazing voicemail with a woman named Brooke who asked what could be done to better his numbers in Iowa. And to make a long story short, we talked about the needing to shift from being an internet candidate to being a very much classic candidate that does the boomer media to get the boomer votes, which includes spending some of this money that we entrusted in him in the third quarter, that $10 million that he got, in order to do that. But we had no idea this brother was going to jump that monetary shark and do $1 million in 7 days. It reminds me of that movie with John Candy where they had to like spend a fortune. It was an old movie from the 70s.
Wait, no, but are you talking about Brewster's Millions?
Yeah.
That's not John Candy. That's Richard Pryor.
No, it was Richard Pryor, and who was the guy that was with him?
I don't remember. Richard Pryor's like, what is it? Like his great uncle leaves him all this money, but he has to spend X amount of.
Yeah,
Great film, Brewster's Millions. Shout out to that movie.
Brewster's Millions. So Andrew Yang just dropped $1 million, and look, high risk, high reward. We're not saying whether that's good or bad yet. We're going to analyze this and give you our opinions, but I mean, this is huge. So. Welcome to Problem Solver Politics. I'm your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everyone. How you doing?
And before we get started, if you can, if you can, share, check us out on PSP Radio 1 on Twitter. And if you want to grab a hat, go to problemsolverpolitics.com. Cody, tell them what's going on.
Yeah, first of all, I have to give you a bit of credit. John Candy wasn't Brewster's Millions. Anyway.
It was John Candy?
He's in the movie, yeah.
Oh, boo!
And Richard Pryor both. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to get lost in that. Anyway, though, I'm not going to get too far into it, letting you guys know exactly what happened. And as Cardin was alluding to here a minute ago, Andrew Yang, and this is just the press release I'm reading from right here, but Andrew Yang launches the first TV ad entitled New Way Forward in Iowa with a $1 million plus buy. I'm assuming it's in change, what they mean by that. Now, couple key takeaways from this ad. We'll get into exactly what $1 million and how long they're running it for means in a minute. Couple key takeaways. Number one, this was the first ad shot and produced by consulting firm Divine, Mulvey, and Longabaugh. They are the consulting firm that worked with Bernie in 2016 and probably would have won him the primary if it wasn't stolen from by the establishment. So they are a good, reputable firm. It was a big win for Yang to acquire them, and now we're seeing the fruit of it. Now, $1 million in the state of Iowa. And I believe the numbers I have been given for how long this ad's going to run is about 7 days. So I want to show you guys so I believe it's 7th through the 14th is what I was told is when it's running from. I want to show you guys what that looks like as far as relative to some other spenders here in a second. And then we'll also go through and watch the ad itself. And then after I watch the ad, I want to go to a couple comments actually. I think Daily Beast got the exclusive on this. They have a couple cool comments about kind of the reason behind the message and all that stuff. So.
Okay.
First of all, again, I want to get $1 million in, I believe, 7 days. So what does that mean? I want to show you guys something over here. And this is 538 does a lot of cool stuff like this. This is their tracking every presidential candidate's TV ad buys. So everyone president, here's what they're spending on TV ads. So immediately looking at this graph, a little bit weird to read. What I could tell you is the amount of ads ran is the bar going up, and then the green one is Tom Steyer. As we all know, Tom Steyer loves TV ads. TV ads is how Tom Steyer is basically bought his way into these.
Is Tom Steyer going to be the new name that rappers rap about in their music videos now that Donald Trump is taboo and not cool anymore?
I want to highlight the fact that Tom Steyer spends a ton of money on ads. But what does a ton of money in ads look like? Going through here, I have it pulled up. Here's a sample of about 5 ads that Tom Steyer spent money on. I've gone through and looked at these. This is a little bit incomplete, but I can assure you, he has not spent $1 million in Iowa in 7 days. You look at some of these ads, for example, here's one called Tearing Our Country Apart. It ran between the 6th of August and 26th, so roughly 3 weeks. Now, he did spend over $1 million on this ad over 3 weeks. However, in the state of Iowa, he spent about $564,000, again, over about 3 weeks. Go to some other ads. This one ran very recently from the 8th of October through the 4th of November. Essentially a month. He didn't spend more than $500,000 in any state. Or I guess technically a little bit over $500,000 in Massachusetts. But for the most part, hundreds of thousands to run an ad for a month in these states. And you'll see how many airings he's get through that. So here's what I want to kind of look at too is one of these ads right here. He ran this ad in about 3 states, Iowa, South Carolina, Nevada. Now, for $256,000, right? He got roughly, or about 972 airings. So if we were to just do the math, that means in 7 days, now roughly, I don't know if it's 100% 1-to-1, but doing some math here, that would tell me if we're going $250,000 for a month is 900 airings. What's $1 million for 7 days?
Dude.
Isn't it basically, so it's 4 times that in 1/4 the time. It's a lot. Is this ad going to be running 4,000 times in a week? I mean, I don't want to get too lost in it, but again, I'll show it. In some of these states, we spend a lot of money. For example, here's another one. He spent $479,000 for a 2-week run in Iowa and got 2,000 airings. I think the numbers might bear out to 4,000. So without getting too lost in all this, we're going to run the ad for you guys real quick, and then we'll kind of come back with some commentary on it. So I just wanted to show. You want to, because people like us, like $1 million in a week in Iowa, politics, is that good? I don't know. It's crazy, man. No one's doing this. No one's spending $1 million. Oh, before I leave, I'll show one other big candidate. Pete Buttigieg spent a lot of money in this campaign. Buttigieg made a lot of money in this campaign.
Yeah, he raised
Pete Buttigieg
so much.
very
27
recently.
million.
Yeah, he recently ran about looks like again, what is it, about a 2-week ad run, specifically in Iowa, and he spent about $276,000 on it. Andrew Yang spent $1 million. Now, I believe that is $1 million on the ad buy as far as the airings. I don't know if they're kind of folding in some production costs in there to bolster it up. But if he spends $1 million to run this ad in 7 days, it could be all over Iowa for about a week. Interesting. I mean, those are the polls you want to see. Everyone's like, why isn't Andrew Yang moving in the polls? Like, if he's polling at 3% and like nothing really changes over the course of 14 days, why would he go up? But if he's polling at 3% and suddenly 4,000 ads blast Iowa in a week, then he should go up. If the ads come, if the next polls after this buy comes out and he's not up in the polls, then people can start saying, yikes, like he just spent $1 million in a week in Iowa, just absolutely blasted every television in the state with his ads for a week and he didn't move. I would say Tom Steyer being a nobody with no plan who bought his way to 2 debates running TV ads, they're pretty effective. So I think it might work for Andrew Yang. So again, without too much further ado.
Well, something's got to happen, and there's a reason why the Yang gang entrusted him with all of that money. I think it's just well understood that, you know, you're gonna have to come out from the closet into the living room. You're gonna have to come out of the darkness into the light. You're gonna have to come out of obscurity into, you know, the mainstream at some point. We had that video we did 2 or 3 days ago about the Wall Street Journal saying that he was, you know, now a mainstream candidate, so on and so forth.
That's how you do it.
And yeah, it's part of the ball game.
Okay, quickly though, I want to get to the ad.
Yeah, hit it. Yeah, let's hit the ad.
Okay, sorry, one second. I got to change one thing. But again, just wanted to make sure I remind you guys, this is the first ad Andrew Yang has done with this new ad firm, which I think is big. It's worth noting there because this is basically the message of the campaign moving forward. This is the phase 1. I'll get into the comments in a second. Anyway, without further ado, here we go. Andrew Yang, A New Way Forward. He's spending $1 million to promote this sucker, so you know he thinks highly of it. Here we go.
The son of immigrants who came here seeking the American dream, Andrew Yang. His parents taught him about hope and hard work, a leader in education. Andrew Yang, the founder of Venture for America, a nonprofit that helped create thousands of jobs. President Obama named Andrew a champion of change, and his ideas are a blueprint for a new way forward. An economy where big tech and Wall Street are held accountable. A healthcare system with Medicare for all that takes on drug companies to lower prices. A fight against climate change that confronts big polluters.
We have to rewrite the rules of the 21st century so that they work for us.
Andrew Yang, parent, patriot, not a politician. A new leader who understands that what's coming is the greatest economic transformation in history and who can lead us in the fight for the future that we want. For President Andrew Yang, A New Way Forward.
I'm Andrew Yang, and I approve this message.
So that was the ad. Really quickly, I want to get my first immediate reaction. While I like the ad, I am going to push back a little bit. I don't know if this is like a galactic election. I don't know if we needed the shot of the sun rising over the planet Earth at the end. But
can you stop? Can you freeze frame on the frame you're talking about? Because that is a really good look at that.
Absolutely. You want to talk about an epic ad? Look at this. It's like
I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan just directed
where's the Hans
this.
Zimmer music and the, like the doom cry. Anyway, I don't want to clown on this too much because I thought it was a really good effective ad. And one thing I want to get into really quick before we jump into all of our analysis on it is One thing you guys probably noticed, and I want to just get this out of the way, UBI was never mentioned in the ad. It was briefly flashed on screen, vaguely, like Universal Basic Income, but they did not talk about it at all very much. It really, really, really kind of, it seemed like it wasn't, like, he talked more about everything else than they talked about, and more about climate change, more about healthcare, more than everything about UBI. And I was we were wondering their first ad they ran. It was all about Medicare for all, with dealing with children with disabilities and stuff like that. And I was like, interesting, but it seems kind of niche and not kind of really his main message. So here's what the Yang campaign said. So this is, again, the Daily Beast article. I believe they have the exclusive on this, so I'll have the article. You guys can go read it. Some cool stuff in here. But they say instead of hanging the ad on his signature economic policy of $1,000 a month check for every American, the ad only mentions the UBI in text without accompanying narration. That, his campaign says, is all by design. This is only the first step. S.Y. Lee, Yang's national press secretary, told the Daily Beast, "We're going to have more of these coming." So while Yang hovers in national place in the latest Real Politics average, coming in this is more in polling stuff. Now, not a whole bunch, but the fact that the campaign saying, like, yes, we intentionally left UBI back. And I think the idea, the larger plan they're kind of walking out here is this idea of they want to warm Iowans up to Yang a little bit more first before they drop some of his more radical stuff, I believe. Because we've talked about this a lot in his campaign. It's not something I'm going to say before you're at the card. We've talked about it a lot with viewers and stuff. People saying, do you think he has a chance of getting pigeonholed as like the gimmicky $1,000 a month guy? And I think his...
this is a boomer ad.
I think his messaging department is having those same concerns. We're like, do we want to come out and just say $1,000 a month every American? Or do we want to come out and... Because to be frank... It's one of those things. It's not an issue that's really, like, Americans care about, like, healthcare, immigration, really healthcare, immigration, and, like, schools. Like, that's what your average voter cares about. They're not thinking about UBI for all Americans. So instead of coming out with that pitch, it's better to talk about the environment and healthcare and schools, which is what he talked about in the ad. So I think that's their message.
Yeah, this was a much more compelling boomer ad. And by boomer, I don't say that in a pejorative sense. I say that in the sense of... This is what an
TV audience.
Yeah, more of a TV audience, an older audience. And I've helped produce a lot of these commercials, okay? You focus group what's going to work well. You check out all the Rasmussen, the Quinnipiac, and all the other polls and see what is on people's radar, usually jobs, education. Right now, a huge thing is healthcare. And amongst Democrats, it's healthcare and climate change, okay? Yeah, and voters. So you notice they slipped in the climate change. They slipped in the everything.
Well, he talks about that a lot, though. He does talk about it a lot.
Yeah, but you need to go look at Pete Buttigieg's commercials. He's doing the boomer commercials as well, and a lot of people consider him the boomer candidate.
You want to watch it real quick and pull it
up? Yeah, let's watch it, but you'll notice it's a lot more boring. Like, dude, I swear, these guys went onto Artlist and got that galactic picture, you know what I'm saying? And then they went on to Pond 5 and just put into the search engine, epic, intense trailer music.
Are being left behind. The solutions aren't going to come from Washington. We've got to have a plan that works for all of us, or we're going to continue to become polarized and divided. We want to make sure rural areas and urban areas have an equal shot at success in this country. I'm Pete Buttigieg, and I approve this message.
Yeah, so I mean,
he's kind of a boring dude. You know what I mean? So like I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. When you
I apologize, I couldn't make the video bigger. I'm gonna flame 538's video player. Wouldn't let me full screen, so I couldn't.
Okay. So, but either way, the point is, both are done by producers that I'm sure are paid their millions and to get their messaging down and say, okay, this is how you have to execute it. But this is where the intangibles come in. One of these was really compelling and was like the trailer to an action movie. And then the other one was a very boring Midwestern guy giving a very boring Midwestern industrial training video. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the intangibles of a candidate and a candidacy come into play. Both can make $1 million commercial. Both can raise $1 million. But who's the one that can execute an awesome ad? And that, I think, in the world of boomer ads was really good. And actually reminds me, there's a great book. There's a great book called Save the Cat that a lot of aspiring screenwriters write. It's written by a dude named Blake Schneider, who's always saying that that Hollywood always wants the same thing as a movie that was already made and that was successful, but different. So they want Chinatown, but different. They want another Jurassic Park, but different. And that the big key to being a successful screenwriter is to be the same but different. So Andrew Yang had to make the Boomer TV ad. He had to make the TV I am Andrew Yang and I approve this message ad, but it had to be different enough. And I think they actually did a really good job of threading that needle of saying, okay, yeah, he's the UBI candidate for a lot of people that even understand it, but it takes a lot of explanation time to get UBI through people. Right now, let's focus on stuff that's already on their mind, and he hit all of those nails on the head. I don't know. I think it was very compelling.
But what else is cool, just getting back to, we talked a lot about Tom Steyer, how much he spent on ads and stuff. Well, dude, you know what's worked for Tom Steyer? He's actually beating Andrew Yang in Iowa. And Tom Steyer's been aggressive running ads in Iowa.
But Yang's late to the game.
My point being is they work. That's why it's good that Yang's doing it. They work. Tom Steyer has no real message. Tom Steyer
Are you
has
suggesting
no
the
real
American
anything.
people can be bought and influenced by large amounts of corporate money?
No one can support you if they don't know you exist, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And if all you do is watch TV all day, you're not here. It's one of those things that everyone, it's like a weird bias everyone has. Like if you just watch CNN or Fox or MSNBC or local affiliate every day, you just kind of assume this is the news that everyone gets, no matter where you go. Same way, if I get all my news from Twitter, I assume that that's the news. If you follow news, you have the news I got off Twitter. But there are all these different outlets and sources that have different markets and they focus on different things. So you kind of get lost and you don't realize that there's a lot of people that watch TV still. And by the way, Yang just started doing YouTube ads a few weeks ago as well. So he hadn't been on there either. But they just they're not in the forums. They're not in the Twitter threads, you know? They're not making memes about this stuff. They don't know very much at all. So when they see a TV ad, kind of like the one we just saw where they're like, oh, interesting. Son of immigrants, education, healthcare, environment, Andrew Yang,
I think
Better America, New Vision, Galaxy. Like they had all these things in there. I think they'll see that and go, oh, okay. Because also, no offense to many Americans, but your average American voter is pretty, I guess fickle is the word. There's a lot of them I support this person. I don't know. Like the fact that Joe Biden is still in double digits tells me there's a lot of voters out there who are just I don't know, Biden, I guess. You don't see many diehards for Biden. So it is interesting, again, to notice that Biden's not doing so well in Iowa compared to nationally. Last data point I want to bring up, which is, not even really data point, just kind of anecdotal evidence about why Andrew Yang going so aggressive in Iowa. Some of you guys might be asking, well, there's other early states too. There's other candidates. Buttigieg didn't for all, but Steyer, for example, would run the ads in 5 states. Why all in Iowa? I don't get it. Well, Iowa, we've talked about this before. I'm not going to get too lost in it. You can look at our older videos or just pull something up. The way the Iowa primary works is very important to be at above 15%. You look up exactly why, but basically they say if you don't pull above 50%, you're non-viable and you kind of can't run in the state anymore. So it ain't good. You want to be above it when it comes down to the actual primary. Now, every candidate, even Warren, who you'll notice, Warren's probably the only candidate in Iowa comfortably above 15%, Warren just got scorched earth attacked by the California Democratic Party because she was not going to be at an event in California. I'm assuming to be in Iowa. We've seen, I think recently Kamala Harris fired all of her California staff, laid everyone off to focus all on. Everyone's going all in Iowa. Andrew Yang announcing $1 million to run ads for a week in Iowa. So far it's been, as far as I know, the boldest ad play for the state. Tom Steyer, I showed you guys, he's ran a bunch of ads for a long period of time. But I don't know, man. I really don't know the best way to tell you guys what's going to happen other than we will know. We'll find out pretty soon here. I think we'll find out with polls that come out after this. When you spend this much money to run this many ads, we're going to see, man. Something's going to happen.
Yeah. So anyway, wait, what did you have any critiques of the commercial before we close?
I clowned on this weird galaxy shot at the end. That's the only thing.
I thought the galaxy shot was a little bit
cracks me up. Man.
Was a little bit sci-fi too.
It's literally the sun rising over Earth from space.
But I also think,
is Yang running for president of Earth or is he running for president of America? What is this? I don't. It feels a little grandiose, I will say. That's
my only other thing too is for months before he decided to use Evelyn, I was like, dude, use Evelyn. You're struggling with the female vote. You're struggling with traditional demographics. You're struggling with boomers. And let me tell you, boomers trust family men. I never got more respect from boomers in my life until I freaking got married. You know what I'm saying? They don't take you seriously when you say, oh, I need a couple days off because my girlfriend's got this graduation I got to go to. It's like, shut up. That's just a girlfriend. But if you say oh, I need a couple of days off because, my wife has a graduation. Oh, yeah, family business. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand the boomer mentality. So get Evelyn in these commercials and on stage with you. Like get her out there, bro, because she's attractive, she's articulate, she's competent. Like, she is a positive reflection on you. So it wasn't until literally the past couple of weeks he's done that. And then the other thing I think is, dude, if you're saying you're a parent and a patriot, show us your freaking kids. I know some people are weird about, you know, their children in the public eye, and because you obviously want to protect them. I don't want to subject them to unnecessary stress and so on and so forth. But I'm sorry, you got to pull out all the stops, bro. And if you're the parent, if you're the husband to a beautiful and articulate wife, drag her out there. And if you're the father to two cute and adorable kids and you're claiming to be a parent and a patriot, drag them out there too. Do you want to win? Or do you want to make sure your kids don't show up on TV? Which one? You know what I'm saying? And so that was my only other thing is I'm thinking, Yang, you still haven't pulled out all the stops, bro. You still have not pulled out all the stops. So anyway, that's just our opinion. We're curious to see what yours is. Make sure that you leave a comment below. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe. And if you can do us a favor, please like this video. And follow us on Twitter at PSP Radio 1 or leave us a voicemail at 1-833-PSP Radio. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you guys in the next video.